Okay, thanks for watching this. We're here to talk about this home part-time business opportunity. And basically, I'm just recording this so I don't have to keep repeating it to all my family and friends using a little technology here because I figured it'll save a little time. And also, I'm not too good at explaining this thing, so I got somebody here to help us out. Anyway, let's explain what this is. You're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Recently, a friend of mine, Chad, he kept pestering me. He was texting me, "Hey man, I got this thing I want to talk to you about. Come over, have a few beers. It'll only take an hour." I left the house one night and just hung out with him for a little while. And by the next morning, I had gone through the night, and I was part of this opportunity that we're going to show you in a minute. I just sort of threw my hands up in the air toward the end of the night and said, "Yeah. I can't think of a reason not to do this. Whatever. Just let's keep partying and sign me up." So that's me right there. There's a link if you want to go to my Google profile, get to know me at all. But there's probably friends and family watching this anyway. You know who I am. All right. When I sobered up, the next morning or actually, I think I let a few days go by. It was the weekend. I started really looking into this thing. It was, as Chad had told me, it was a reputable, established company. There was no inventory to carry. There was no kind of Amway type stuff or Avon where I had to buy stuff and sell it. I realized even though I kind of I do this all day. I do web marketing stuff. I realized I didn't need special skills or knowledge. This is simple as just talking to people. The product is real good. It's something everybody needs and uses. And almost anybody you meet can be a customer. And what's really cool is that while it has huge upside potential, this opportunity, you can help other people achieve their goals. You can bring friends and family into this, show it to them. If they like it, great, and they want to pursue it, could do really good things for them. So that's part of the fun. So I still don't fully understand. I haven't spent a lot of time on this, and that's why we're doing the recording today. I've actually invited somebody who's in the organization, who's been doing it a little bit longer, to come on and record here, answer some questions. This way I don't have to call you up and say, "Hey, come over, have a few beers," and trick you into getting drunk and joining the opportunity. So who we have on the call today, his name is Tony. Tony, I don't even know your last name. Could you say hi?
Hi, my last name's Tony Work.
That's right, Tony Work. And I also have my business partner, Josh, on the call today because I figured he'll bring another perspective. I don't have a picture of Josh here, but I wanted to expose this to him. So go ahead, Josh, say hi.
Hello.
All right, all right. Josh is here. So, Tony, you started with this in 2011, this year, right?
Yep, April 7th of 2011.
Okay. So as we're recording this, we're about 4 months in, I guess, 4.5 months for you. And you're doing okay, right? You seem to be. That's why I asked you. You seem to know a lot about the opportunity, and you're progressing.
Things are growing every day right now, and we're getting to a point where I've already promoted once. I gave myself a 55% raise less than 10 weeks into the business. Try asking your boss for a 55% raise and see how you make out. You're probably not going to make out too well.
Right. So I just skipped to the next slide here. This is a little, we're pretty unscripted here. I just have some bullet points. People are wondering what the heck this is all about. And basically, the product here, the business, what is being sold is gas and electricity. Do I have that right?
Yes, that's correct. Actually, electricity and natural gas is something that everybody uses every single day, and we don't even think about it.
Yep. Everybody pays, and that's a bill we all pay, right? I guess.
Well, if we don't, we're going to take a cold shower in the dark, right?
Yep. And the reason I'm going to assume a lot of people are familiar with the fact that there have been some federal laws that have made deregulation of electricity and gas possible. But Tony, do you want to give any more detail on that?
Yeah, basically the government has said that there can't be anything as a monopoly anymore. What they want to do is try to level out the playing field for everybody, create a little bit of competition, and keep the prices in check. We've watched it happen with airlines. We've watched it happen with the telecom industry, telephones, and back when Bell did it back in '86, people were paying 50 cents a minute for long distance. Now today you can get long distance for free. Well, the government basically stepped in and said, hey, we're going to do the same thing with the utilities as far as the electricity and natural gas. We're going to deregulate that and create some competition and see if we can make it, an even playing field for everybody, and maybe make the consumer a little bit happier with lower prices.
So basically now, instead of one gas or electric company in your area, you might find, and this isn't in every state yet, but you might find that you have a multitude of choices. That's the whole.
That's it exactly. I mean, I know, like in New York, for example, okay, there are 45 different ESCOs, or what they call electrical service providers, electrical service companies, and I mean, so there's a ton of competition out there, and that's just in New York. I mean, we have it everywhere. Eventually, it's going to be in all 50 states, and our particular company is going to cover all 50 states and Canada and Europe.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. Canada and Europe.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you have any idea, like in the states where it's been for a little while, how much people are saving? Like how much the average cost of electricity has gone down due to deregulation? Do you have any stats on that, or?
Yes, I do actually. The in Texas, where our company actually started, when they entered the market, the price per kilowatt was 26 cents per kilowatt. I just recently signed a customer up at 9.7 cents, and he was with his regular electrical company, and he was paying 14.4 cents. So we've saved over 30% in that. That's even before we show him how to get free electricity.
Right. So if somebody has like I think my electric bill is like 100 to 150 a month. It's not huge. We don't use central air, but we're talking about a 30% savings. That could be 30 to 50 bucks.
Yeah, you
Uh,
could be. I mean, you can save as little as $5 a month, or you could save as much as 60 or 70 or $80 per month.
And it's going to be different depending on the market, the state, your situation, right? It's basically this is kind of a.
Exactly. The territory determines a lot of it. The customer's usage yeah, actually will determine a lot of it.
Okay, yeah, I just don't because I just threw out 30 to 50 bucks. I don't want people listening like thinking that if they switch their electric, they're going to get that much savings automatically. But okay, so uh, deregulation lets us. So I had 5 to 10% here. Deregulation lets us choose now instead of having the one person who has the monopoly in our area. If our state's all hooked up, we have a couple of choices. We might save 5 to 10%, sometimes more.
Correct. That's correct.
I put 5 to 10 on the low end. Um, what was cool when I was getting drunk with Chad, not getting drunk, but as he was explaining this to me, what I realized is that one of the cool things about the competition was that some of the companies coming into an area, they're going to be competing against each other, so they're going to offer up some pretty cool things. Just in return for getting you to switch, right? Just like any business, they'll offer some kind of loss leader, something to entice you or to make you choose them over somebody else. So the company we've been working with, do I have this right? There's a free trip. I don't really understand this, Tony. I just know that you get like a voucher. Um, can you explain the free trip to me?
Sure. First of all, let me make you a little correction here. Okay, the most companies will, believe it or not, will not offer you an incentive to be their customer. Okay, your incumbent provider or your regular company that you pay your electric bill to, um, they they have you. Okay, there's no reason for them to chase you. Okay, a lot of the other companies, they can offer you a competitive rate for the first couple months, and then they do what's called the bait and switch. They may sign you up at 7.9 cents a kilowatt, and then all of a sudden 2 months from now you're paying 9.9 cents a kilowatt. The other thing too that happens is, with our company, we give you just for free, okay, just for being our customer, we give you a 2 day, 3 night, or a 2 night, 3 day stay at I think there's like 27 different locations across the country, and that's just for being our customer for free.
Can you give me an example? I know one is Atlantic City. We're up here in the Northeast. What do you get? You get the hotel room? Is
Yeah, you
that
get you get the hotel room, and it's I think the partnership is with like Marriott. I know Country Inn and Suites is one of the places. That's one of the places that I like to stay. But they offer them in Atlantic City. They offer them in the Poconos, New York, Boca Raton. I mean, there's Las Vegas, even Hawaii, actually. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different places that you can go. And it's just a hotel stay. You still have to pay your travel to get there, but at least you have a place to crash.
And I remember one of my big objections was, all right, fine, I'm gonna go, and then they're gonna like lock me in a room and pitch me something, right?
No, 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 no. It's not a timeshare. That's one of the questions that I get all the time.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not a timeshare. It's a legitimate vacation. You can go if if you're a golfer and you're going to a golf tournament or something like that. You just go and just do your normal thing. There's no guy named Bubba there in the back door who's going to lock it and pull out the baseball bat and lock you into signing anything.
Okay, so you pay for travel, but room is paid for.
Correct.
No Bubba locking you in a room, selling you something. Okay, so that's basically just as a thank you for signing up for switching to your electric provider, just to get the relationship off started. There's a free trip, a
Yep.
voucher for a hotel stay. Cool. The other cool thing that struck me, and I know Chad was pretty excited about this himself. I guess it wasn't as exciting to me because my electric bill isn't huge, but seems like they're a big fan of Central Air over there, and he's got like a $300 bill every month. Um, and basically, this company, you can get your electric for free, right? Or at least a portion of it.
Yeah, we actually have two really cool incentives. Um, Obviously, if you find a good deal, you're going to talk about it. You're going to talk to your friends and family, and you're going to say, "Hey, I just saved some money. Check this out." And I mean, we do referrals every single day of our life. A prime example of that is actually look at Google. When's the last time you saw a TV advertisement for Google? They've only ever done one, which was a Super Bowl. Okay, but everything else has been done through word of mouth or referral service. They told two friends who told two friends. Basically, what we offer is if you tell your friends and family, and let's just say that maybe you have a short list of friends and family, maybe you only know 5 people. Okay, if you get 5 people, we're actually going to give you travel rewards points, just like if you were to fly with an airline, they give you travel rewards. Well, we do the exact same thing, so we give you more travel vouchers. These are actually pretty cool. They give you cruises. You can go to Cabo for 6 days and 6 nights, or you can go. I mean, there's a ton of different vacation packages that you can get. But if you can refer 15 people, we actually help you get free generation on your electric bill, not once, but every single month.
Okay, so you said free generation. This has
Yes.
confused me a little. So free generation if you refer 15 people, which
And
I've seen. It's kind of surprised, but I've only been in this about a month. I've seen people do that really quick.
yeah,
I've worked on it myself, but it's not a hard sell to get somebody to switch if they're going to save money.
right,
Um,
exactly. And the great part about it is the generation is actually like it's almost 2/3 of what your bill is. So if you have a $150 bill, you can actually get a $100 credit on your bill every single month simply by referring those people one time. And actually, there are some states that will give you what we do is we take the average of those 15 people, and we take their average bill, and then Ambit will actually take you and take that and credit it for you, that actual amount. So in, like, say for example, Texas, where the average bills are $300 or $350, if you have somebody that uses $450 worth of electricity, they'll actually credit the average amount of those 15 people, and they'll actually knock it off of your whole bill. So, if you have a $300 bill, it's possible that next month's bill could be $4.
yeah, that's great. And yeah, like I said, Chad was really excited about that. He was just thinking, hey, that's kind of like that's like making money because he's got to pay that bill every month anyway. So
Right, right, exactly.
it's kind of like part-time income. I wonder, is that taxed? I don't.
No, it comes right off of your bill. So it's not actually an income. It's what they call a credit. It's almost like using coupons.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
it's paid with pre-tax dollars. Yeah, so
Yes,
it's
correct, correct, correct.
Cool. So basically, instead of, I mean, if you're making 20 bucks an hour, I mean, just for referring a few friends, you might, yeah, that's great. I mean, you can save 150, 200 a month, every month.
We've got a guy that's been in the business for about 38 months. He's making 100,000 a month in this business, but he's more excited about the money that he's saved in his electricity in the last 3 years. He figured out he saved $8,000 in his electric bill over the last 3 years.
So yeah, I've heard that some people get in just to save the electric part, and then they end up making a monthly income just for talking about this. And that's the third thing here that we have is the monthly income if you join as a consultant. Is that the right term, consultant?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Um, I joined Tony. I'm bad, right? You guys have been chasing me to actually do something with this, and I don't even know. I'm a consultant, I guess.
Yeah,
So
you're a consultant, and yeah, we're Chad's asked me to get you plugged in here and show you what this business is about. It is about, and that way you guys can start making some serious checks off of this too.
okay, so we have the one side is you help people switch their electric. If that's all you want to do, you can get some free electricity, get a trip. It'll be like making some part-time income because the money you save on your own electricity.
Right.
Okay. Um, and you don't really have to that you can switch. I guess one of my next slides goes into that. We'll answer some questions, but it's easy to switch, right? It's like a form online.
Oh yeah, well yeah, you can do it online, and basically it takes you 5 minutes to fill out the form. All you need is your present electrical company bill. You put in your account number, you put in your name and address and phone number, and then they'll call you to verify it. Once they call you to verify it, boom, you're a customer.
Cool. Okay, so let's get back to the monthly income stuff later. I know I had some questions about this, and people tend to about the actual switch itself. One of the big things is, well, geez, I've been with the same company for 10 years or whatever, forever. What's going to happen? Am I going to have interruptions? This isn't a company I know. Um,
Nope, you won't. Actually, the only thing it's going to change is your bill's going to go lower. You don't have to jump through any hoops. It's not like Ambit's going to pull up with a truck at 2 o'clock in the morning and change out your meter or anything like that. It's a real simple computer switch. Once you fill out to sign up to become a customer, all they do is flip a switch, and now you get all your generation. They just know where to buy their power from, and we're partnered with Shell Energy. And basically, what happens is because of that, we get a discount because of dealing with a company that it's so big. And but as far as the changeover, it's seamless. Matter of fact, Ambit says that if your lights as much as flicker in the process of the changeover, they'll pay your very first month's bill.
Well, it's it's
cool.
it's no different than changing your well, hardly, I guess fewer and fewer people have these anymore, but changing your home telephone line.
Exactly.
It's not like if you change from Verizon to AT&T. I don't even know if AT&T has regular phone, but it's not like somebody comes out and rips out your existing phone line and puts in a new one, out to the street. It's just who, yeah, it's exactly the same concept. It's who you get your bill from.
Yeah, and well, and actually, the bill's still going to come like where I live. My provider is PP&L. Okay, so if PP&L, if I change over to Ambit, which I have, my bill still comes from PP&L. The only thing
Right.
is
Okay.
on the second page, it'll say generation charge and it'll say Ambit Energy on it. And that's the
Gotcha.
only thing that changes.
Wow. Okay. So really, not much changes. Just not much changes. Just price, but if light flickers, there's a guarantee. They probably
And
never have to fulfill that because nothing
no,
changes.
it's all computer. It's a seamless switch. In the 5 years, in the little over 4.5 years that Ambit has been in business, they never once have had to pay that bill. That's how seamless it is.
Cool. So online. I guess we could give a link below this, right? If people just want to do that, if they're curious about that, they can click over. We'll have a link somewhere on the page if you're
Yeah, we'll
watching
just put
this.
it below this somewhere or another.
Yeah,
Okay.
they can. I mean, they can go. Yeah, they can actually go to what you call your customer referral website, which you. I know you probably don't remember this after all the beer, but Chad actually gave you a website that you can refer your customers to. They can see, they can read all the information about the, as far as the changeover, as far as the rates, as far as the free vacations, everything is actually on that website, and
Okay,
that's what makes this business great. It's all done through websites.
cool. Okay, so I'll make sure I give my link then and get some credit, right?
Hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's not hard to switch. Takes 10 minutes. Um, and then the second part. So that's like the electric switch part. It kind of makes sense. They actually don't have it here. That was one of my reservations, but I think it might be coming in the next 6 months. There are whispers of it. But I actually joined just for the business opportunity. I can't even switch my electric yet because the business opportunity, despite the few beers, which kind of loosened me up. After I had the few beers and a few days later, I started to get more excited. Um, about this because it seems so easy. So, how much can I make as a consultant? That's what people are going to ask. Tony, can you? I don't understand this at all. All I know is that other people are making money.
Yeah,
Um,
other people are making, it depends on how much you want to make. The bottom line is, who do you know that uses electricity? Everybody except for the Amish, right? And basically what you got to look at is how many of them want to save. Everybody these days. I mean, we travel we'll travel a half a mile down the road to save 2 cents a gallon on our gas. You're going to save a total of $18 a year. Well, with electricity, if you change over, you can save as much as you can save anywhere from 80 to $300 a year in your savings. So, for us as consultants, that's a no-brainer. We can make anywhere from $100 a month to $100,000 a month. And that's probably a low estimate because right now this company in 4.5 years has already created 7 millionaires in the first 4 years. And I actually just found out yesterday we have 3 more millionaires that are going to be here by the end of the year. So, I mean, that's how much potential this thing has.
cool. And one of the reasons I asked you, sorry, Josh, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
One of the reasons I asked you, Tony, because I knew you've only been in it a few months, and but you've actually built up something that could that could be steady income. Do you mind sharing some details about how much you're making or like what you're on path to do?
Sure,
Uh,
sure. Yeah, when I first got in, obviously, anytime that you invest, you're always looking at your ROI. You always want your return on your investment, and so your very first goal is to get your money back as quickly as possible. Well, I myself, I don't consider myself a salesperson. I don't consider myself, one of those guys who knows everybody. But in under 10 weeks, I had actually had doubled my money. Okay, and then I turned around, and right now where I'm sitting, I'm looking at what probably I don't know, probably about 14 to 16 weeks tops. Okay, I basically quadrupled my money. But the other thing that really excites me is I've started to build what they call the residual income. And your first check is going to be your lowest. You're probably going to start out about $10 or $12 a month. But what we have seen in this business is as your residual income builds, it doubles every single month to a point. Now after about 2 years, it starts to slow down a little bit more. But everybody that I have talked to that has already been in this business for a while, they said the same thing. My first check started out at $10, and then you get to like 15 or 20 or whatever, and it builds to a point where a lot of these guys after their first year have already gotten to a point where they're making like 2 grand a month.
okay, so so basically, when you say residual income, that basically implies passive, where you're not doing more work, right?
Exactly, exactly.
And that's based on basically like a commission off of the electric usage, or
This
basically
com-
yeah.
yeah, this company actually offers. There are like 5 different ways that you can earn money from this. You can earn your bonuses. You can earn leadership bonuses. You can earn the residual. For example, like if you sign up customers, um, you earn every month that they pay their bill, you earn a chunk of change from that. Okay, and then by bringing in other consultants, once you bring in those other consultants, if they sign up customers, you earn money off of what you've helped them to build. And it just continues. It's basically a trickle down effect. And the deeper that those levels of customers go, the more money that you make.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna just address it flat out because probably anybody listening to this has been exposed to what do they call this, Jeff? Multi-level marketing or but um,
Yeah, MLM, network marketing, whatever.
network marketing. And I think the first thing that comes, I'm not predisposed to think this way. That's why I sat there with Chad and I smiled and I did it. But I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a scam," like right away. It's multi-level marketing pyramid, right?
Right. You
Um,
get that a lot. Yep.
yeah. And then I looked, after, of course, I told my wife. She said the same thing. She's like the grant, the next day. And then I looked into it more. I thought what I had heard Chad say was right. What's the difference between this and a pyramid? How can we best explain that for anybody thinking that?
Well, first of all, a pyramid is illegal. Okay. And with a pyramid, the person that you sign up as, a person that you put into business or whatever it is, okay, can never make more than you can. Okay. In this particular thing, number one, we're partnered with Shell Energy. Okay. With everything that happened with Enron a few years ago, do you really think that that a company, the magnitude of Shell Energy, they're the largest energy provider in the world. They're the second largest company in the world. Do you think they're actually going to partner with somebody on something that's going to be illegal or shady? Absolutely not. They have way too much to lose in this. So
Well,
I'm
wait.
sorry.
One thing exciting me. You just said in pyramid schemes, you can usually never make more money than the person above you. Uh,
Correct.
that excites me. You're a couple of. I didn't know you before this, but you're a couple of above me or whatever. But so I can make more than you if I want to work at this.
Oh,
I'm kind of
absolutely.
I'm kind of my own
Absolutely.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
Yeah, you can make. I mean, we've got guys that got into the business, and they went out and talked to their broke brother-in-law and say, "Hey, man, I got this thing you got to look at," and the broke brother-in-law says, "Oh, it'll never work," and they basically quit on the spot. They paid their money to get started, and they never did anything with it. And and then we've got people that got in and maybe talked to a couple of their friends and made a couple $100 or whatever, but they signed up one person who just went totally nuts with this thing, and that guy could be making 20 or 30 or $40,000 a month off of this. Your income potential is not limited by who you're under; it's limited by who that uses electricity.
And who you're willing to talk? You gotta open your mouth and
Yeah,
talk.
well, it's like for me. I mean, it's and my wife gives me a hard time about it all the time. I'll be standing in line at Walmart or pumping gas or whoever, and you know what? I talk to anybody and everybody because you don't know who you don't know. You could be talking to a guy who is a member of 6 or 7 different clubs that has business partners that are always looking to make more money, and if you talk to him you find that out, and the next thing he could be in this business and he could be making you a ton of money in addition to himself.
Yeah. So that's all you've been doing, right?
That's
I
all I do.
I heard you go down to the pizza. Did you go to pizza shops to talk to other entrepreneurs? Is that the whole game plan?
Yeah, I'm Italian, so I spend a lot of time in the pizza shop, and it's and Chad teases me about my little Buddha that's on the way here, but the pizza time is important to me. But yeah, I talk to just about anybody about this thing, because number one, I'm excited about it. Okay, this is my ticket out. I mean, honestly, the way I see it, and I'm working with a couple guys, real close with a couple guys right now, and they're seeing some great results. And I actually have one that I put into the business in 3 weeks. He got all of his money back, and he owns his own business. He's already talking in December of this year. He's planning on selling the business. That's how well things are going for him.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
and
that
that's what.
that is interesting to me when you compare this to other, opportunities is similar or not, you know, you're not to talk about this is part of just normal day to day, whereas talking about goji berry juice or all these other supplements or whatever else. It's like, how do you bring that up? Whereas talking about saving money on your electricity, something that everybody has to have, and saving money, which is a huge just people are paying way more attention to it now because our economy is where it is and so forth, and people thinking more about saving money and how they can do that. It's just it just makes a lot more sense than a lot of opportunities that are out there.
Well, Josh, you're absolutely right. I mean, you think about it. Okay, let's just put it into a perspective that everybody can understand. Okay, you talked about the different berry juices and stuff like that. Okay, if you wake up in the morning and your lights are off, okay, and you go to your cabinet to take your vitamins and you're out of vitamins, okay, which one are you going to do first? Are you going to call your electric company to figure out why your lights are off, or are you going to run down to the drugstore and get more vitamins? It's a simple it's a real simple thought process.
Yep.
We are unconditionally programmed to use electricity, and when the lights flicker or the lights go off, everybody hits a panic. So you're going to pay your bill because you don't want those lights to come off. And as far as talking to people goes, this is the easiest business in the world, for the simple fact that I mean, you can talk about the weather, okay, and the weather will lead you to an electric bill. Man, it's hot out there. Those ACs are running overtime. How about that electric bill? Hey, would you like some help with that? Or, it's cold out there. I just cranked up my heat. But my bill's going to climb. And it's so simple to get into that. And everybody right now is looking to trim, $10 here, $10 there. I mean, how many people do you know now that are hooked on these coupon shows because they want to learn how to get their groceries for free?
Yep.
Well, and that's something they got to do every single week is clip coupons. Why not sign up one time and save money for every single month? That's how easy it is.
So that's what appeals to me. I sold real estate. I really liked selling real estate, all through my 20s and stuff, because it wasn't hard to sell. Everybody needs a place to live. So this doesn't feel like, hey, you're talking somebody into something that they don't need or might not be on their radar. It's just electricity. They use it anyway.
Well, guys. I mean, okay, as consultants now, okay, I don't ask you to come over to my house every Saturday morning and load your trunk up full of electricity, okay? You just don't do it, okay? I mean, it's something that, the great part, what really intrigued me, I did Herbalife, I did Amway, I did all those other companies, okay? And I'll be honest with you, I didn't make a dime. I did telecom, and I did make a lot of money off of that, and that was great, okay? But with this is the simplest business in the world because there are no products, there's no inventories, there's no deliveries, and the great part of it, I said I was Italian. I don't have to send out my enforcers to collect a check.
Right?
I'm joking about that. I know there are going to be some people that are going to look at that and say, "Oh no," but that's honestly, I mean, that's how easy this business is.
I kind of wanted to get Josh here today because we have an online business, which we thought was pretty passive, right, Josh? It's fun, allows us a lot of freedom, but this is. We still have to work every week, hard. This is we're talking about residual income, passive, which means you keep getting paid if you're on the beach.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah.
So basically the job or the business is, what do I have to do? You have to educate people. This is right, Tony, right? There's two things. You tell people what their option to switch, and then if you want to introduce them to this opportunity to be a consultant, you talk about that too, right?
Two simple things in this business. Gather a handful of customers.
Here, let me word it better. Gather a handful of people.
Actually, all you got to do is gather a handful of customers, and that's it. This is as per the Ambit guidelines. We have two simple things. You gather a handful of customers, and you help others do the same. And if you do that, you can make money at this.
Oh, and help others do the same. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what. So like a lot of I've gotten into a few things, but not really anything like this multi-level marketing in the past, but I've gotten into a couple of businesses. But the one thing I've noticed about you guys, it's not like high pressure, but you're kind of staying on me in a cool way. Like you're trying to, I get calls from other guys I've never met. Hey, how you doing? And that's been really nice. And that's to help others do the same. I guess that's what people are helping me do.
Right. Yeah, this is truly what we like to refer to as a pay it forward business. What I have started is I'm working with a guy out of Houston, Texas, who I do have to add this. His residual check last month, just the residuals, was $50,000. Okay, his bonuses, he made over $100,000 in residuals and bonuses last month. He's on pace to make his second $1 million next month. Okay, his second $1 million total in 4.5 years. Okay, that's how strong this thing is. That's how big this thing is. And and what he has done is, I mean, he's making money. It's not like he needs to help my team. He flew up here a couple of weeks ago, and we did, some team gatherings. We had a big cookout, and he sat there and he just basically told us how we could build our business. And he's a phone call or a text message away. And if I ever have any questions or anything like that, for anybody in my team, I give him the number and I say, hey, give Chris a call. He'll help you out. And that's what he does.
So he
Because he
could be
wants us.
retired. He could be retired right now in theory, sitting up, but he's just that's sort of the whole business for him is just helping the other people who've gotten in.
He told me that he was actually considering walking away from this business and not having to do anything with it back in 2010. And he said that he felt that he owed it to people to show them this business and to help them get to a point where he was.
Right.
Now, mind you,
Now,
here's a guy who started off with $6.46 in his checking account, and actually right now is considering going out and paying cash for a Lamborghini.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
And he's helping people. That's the cool part. And
yeah,
he's not.
he loves it. I mean, he'll help anybody, anywhere, anytime. And trust me, I've tested that. I mean, I call him at all hours of the night. Like, dude, you got to talk to this guy. Dude, you got to talk to this guy. But he's always there.
The two things that skeeved me when I was talking to Chad, that the beers helped me get over, and once he explained it. But the two thing, one was that I would have to talk people into something. It's like that I had to sell, and I got over that pretty quick. It was just electric, and it's just I don't have to talk to a ton of people. I just have to help a few people save money on their electric, and I'll be good to go. But the other thing that bothered me a little bit was, am I at the bottom? It sounded like a pyramid. Like, how long will this last? Sure, I'll sign up tomorrow, and then this will all be done in 2 months. Um, I've learned since that's probably not the case. Almost definitely not. But can we explore that a little more? Like, how long will this energy deregulation stuff be around?
This stuff is going to be around forever, and here's just to put it into perspective. I don't know if any of the if anybody out there is familiar with a company called Inc. Magazine. Okay, but they do a yearly uh, print of what's called the Inc. 500, and the Inc. 500 is the 500 fastest growing companies in North America. In 2010, we were named number one at a growth rate of 20,000%. And here's the great part about it. That was based on 2.5 states of growth. Since then, we've added, and when I say 2.5 states, what that means is parts of the third state were open for only electricity. I'm sorry, only natural gas. We have since opened it up to electricity and natural gas. Okay, so in Texas, New York, and Illinois, we became the fastest growing company. We have since added Maryland, parts of Maryland, and parts of Pennsylvania. This coming year, we're going to add 5 more states, eventually all 50 states, and eventually Canada and Europe.
Okay, so it can take so yeah, Canada and Europe, but so what really got me excited was okay, great. So there's like 2 or 3 states. I live in Pennsylvania. That's cool. I can do this in Pennsylvania. But that's only like a tenth of the country that's set up for this. 5 states.
Exactly, and that's how much of a baby this thing is. I mean, we are sitting on the what I personally feel is the greatest wealth potential that I've ever seen in my life.
And it's going to take what 10, 15 years before all 50 states are on, I've heard.
It,
How,
it can take it can take that long, but here's the great part. Okay, we as you know, most people when they look at business like this, they say, well, what's the saturation level? You know, and for most companies, once they hit a 6 to 10% saturation, they're done. Okay, right now, okay, we're at a 2%. Okay, and our co-founders, they have a lofty goal at 50%. Okay, so what happens if we only hit 25% over the next 5 to 7 years? Okay, by that time, it's just money on top of money. It's not even going to matter anymore. You know, this thing is when you look at something, you always want to be what they call a pioneer in the business. Okay, you always want to be one of those first people to plant your flag and say, this is my territory. Okay, that's what we have right now. And the great part about it is we're just getting started. The bad part about it is we need to go, go, go because there is so much money out there on the table now. How big of a piece of pie do you want from that? You know, if you're happy with a couple, if you're happy with a couple $100 a month, then talk to a couple people. You know, if you want, thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands a month, then start talking to everybody that you know because it's out there.
so yeah, I thought of it. One of the things I thought was, okay, what if everybody in the whole country had switched their electricity from their incumbent provider? That's the term you used, right? The people they've been using forever.
Correct.
And I'm thinking of the day when that happens. Won't companies like this still be around trying to get customers from their competitors?
Right, and the other thing too, yeah, I mean, you're always gonna have competition. You know, our company is probably going to be in a great position because we are partnered with some great support system there. But the other thing too is obviously people are still reproducing, and as long as they're reproducing, they're still making people, and as long as people are still making people, we still have clients.
So yeah, I look at this as a potential. It's a nice hedge if my main business goes down, right, Josh? If we have trouble, or this is a nice something to start building on the side. It could be a full-time job someday. There's a lot of different ways. It could just be a little extra money, but you could be have an energy business forever.
Exactly,
Just
exactly.
forgetting it. And the barrier to entry, we haven't talked about that, but I mean the cost to get started with this, it was crazy low. That's why I was able to just do it, after a few beers and at midnight. Um, um, it was
The
really
average
nice.
startup cost for a business in the United States today is somewhere between 125 and 175,000 dollars for just a startup cost. We're pennies on the dollar for that thing. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, Josh and I know, we have a business without a lot of overhead, but just to get that started was thousands and thousands. What do you think, Josh? I mean,
Oh,
that was,
it's
I mean, the time and the
yeah,
money
to
we
get
spent
the
just
ball
getting it off.
rolling to the point where it is, the amount invested is well over six figures. I mean, we've spent well over six figures just advertising on one media channel.
Right. So and we still have to work. It's not totally passive.
Correct.
So, uh, yeah, this is exciting. So at the very least, the reason we're recording this today is so that Josh and I and Tony, if you want, we can just put this in front of our friends and we don't have to, go and sit for an hour if we're not in the same city together. Um, uh, but let me see. Looking at my other slides. We're gonna put a form below, I guess, too, or something where
Yeah, there'll be something
we,
below where somebody can enter some information
definitely.
and somebody will get back to them.
Yeah, if you want to talk about this in more detail, just one thing I want to get back to the is a scam thing because this is the biggest thing I hear. Again, the three of us on the call probably aren't predisposed to think this way, but I know a lot of folks out there think everybody is out there to get them, right? I
Right.
just so I just want to mention this. Like, if you think it's your job to figure out if something is a scam or not, don't assume everything is because you might miss out on something that's really good. Do your own homework. read about it. Whether it's this or any other opportunity, just not everything is a scam. I just want to leave it there.
Well, the other thing that I want to add, to that is that, I mean, you can go, in the technology age of things today. Okay, you can go online and within seconds you can find out anything about anybody, anywhere, anytime. Okay, and if you go into, like if you would type in Ambit scam, sure, you're going to find a couple people that joined the business, talked to their broke brother-in-law, didn't do anything with it, and then said they got ripped off. Okay, and they said it was a scam. Okay, for every one of those, there's probably 10 that have gone out there and done something and made, and started to do something that's changed their lives.
Well, for me, a scam would be I invested, I did what I was supposed to do to make money, and they didn't pay me. That,
No,
that would be a scam.
I'll tell you, I'll be honest. Okay, every one of my checks has gotten here when they said they're going to pay me. I had a mail issue, but that was a different issue. Okay, my very first check didn't come for a couple of weeks, but that was because the neighbor lady, she's got some issues. She has this thing during the day, I guess, that when nobody's home, she likes to go through people's mailboxes. So, yeah, so I just happened to be home one day and looked out and saw her going through it, and we put a stop to that. No, I didn't pull out the enforcers. I just want to make everybody rest a little easy there. But I did talk to her about it, and we called Ambit, and they reissued a check. Matter of fact, they overnighted it to me. So, and that's how well this company is put together. Their billing systems are fantastic. Their pay systems are even better. I have not been disappointed.
I've also heard from the customer, and I'm going to hit my friends up in Philly because the utility companies out there are horrible. Maybe not Pico
Oh, you
so
got a
much,
huge market there, buddy. Let me tell you, man, that's huge.
I told my wife that this might be PGW at the gas company in Philly. That this might be about right away. She said, "Oh, F PGW." She got excited.
Yep.
But the one thing there that a lot of people are telling me is that the customer service from the customer side is actually really good. You can actually get somebody on
Yeah,
the phone.
yeah.
With it.
And and here's the great part: you don't have to listen to broken English to do it. I mean, they actually live here in the United States. They they're all based out of Texas, and they talk to you and they'll help you out with anything. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, they get it resolved in a real timely manner, and it's great. That's nice to know that we do have a great support system like that.
Yep. So basically, we probably missed a lot of stuff. This is pretty informal. We'll just put a form below. I had this slide here, something where you can just get a private call with one of us, Tony, me, or Josh, or whoever showed you this video. We're probably going to share it with some friends to use too. And if you want to know more, just fill out the form. Anything else, Josh or Tony?
Nope.
No, that covers it. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you asking the questions. Like I said, if anybody's got any more questions or any more questions about this, we can definitely get you on the right track.
Cool. Okay, guys.
Thanks for your time, and look forward to talking with some folks.
All right,
Yep.
thanks, guys. Let's tear this up and make some money.
All right.
All right, later.